hiding somewhere in the night. So when you're starting with a song like this, you gotta make sure that you can sing in your mix. We also don't want to sing too hard. So I know a lot of you are going to really try to push and force. Try not to do that. Try to avoid any force in singing this song. So let's start it off. Okay, so how to sing like Steve Perry. You know, Steve Perry definitely had a very high tenor voice, and it's, you know, something that's difficult for me as a baritone, one of the higher baritones, but still a baritone. But we're gonna work through this because a baritone, a bass, a tenor should all be able to sing the same high notes. It's more the low notes that would be affected by those voice types. It's just gonna take a baritone much more energy to be able to go up as high as a tenor would, where that tenor wouldn't really require the same amount of energy. All right, so let's get started with the first line here. Okay, so step one is probably don't be sitting like this. When you're practicing this, I preferably say stand while you're doing it. And also, if you are gonna be sitting, and I'll do this myself, just, you know, because of my studio setup, I've got the camera like this, but I'm gonna sit at the edge of my chair like this. Hope I'm still in the frame, but I'm gonna try to sing like this, approach it like this. This helps you engage into your support much better as opposed to being hunched into the chair. So first thing to do when you're about to sing this song, check your posture. Is your head coming forward? You getting forward head posture? Are your shoulders rolled in? Roll your shoulders back. Well, that was a nice crack. Roll your shoulders back. Chin back, let it rest. There you go. That's your posture you want to start with. Just a small town girl. With that first line, we don't want to attack it too hard. We don't want to go too chesty up there. We want to drop some of the weight. So instead of going just a small, trying to yell up there, lightening up, finding a little bit more of a kind of little kid voice. Just a small town. We want to find that kind of light, bratty type of sound in your voice. So we don't want it to be too dark and heavy. That's the first step. Then once you got that, you want to balance it out so that you can find a little bit more of a heavy mix, because he's definitely in a heavy mix as he's singing this, not in a head mix. So we want to kind of lean in from that placement. Just a small town girl. So you want to find it like that. The other thing that you want to watch out for is how you're approaching your vowels. So we don't want to go too wide and we don't want to go too narrow with the vowels. Too narrow is going to bring you more towards head voice, and too wide is going to bring you more towards chest voice. So by saying it, just a small town girl, right? It's got a little bit of a yelly quality to it up there. If I go too narrow, just a small town girl, it's a little bit too narrow, right? So we want to be somewhere in the middle. Just a small town girl. Right there is where we want it to be. Try to find within your own voice what works the best. Okay, and so in this part, what he's doing is he's really using a legato phrase, kind of slurring his words. And she took a midnight train going anywhere. And trailing off at the end. And again, here you want to find that balance between really wide and really narrow. And if there's one specific note that's giving you trouble, let's say, she took a midnight train, but you're able to get the rest of the line, focus on that took. Maybe took is going too wide. So maybe you're going, she took a midnight. Don't want that. She took. So we want to find something balanced. You might be going, she took. It's too dark. So we want to find that balanced sound. So isolating those spots where you're having problems and then balancing those out is crucial. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about the voice and digging in deeper and working through a 30-day course, check out this link right above. We've got a course that teaches you how to improve your voice over the next 30 days and get it to a place where you feel confident with your voice. So definitely check that out. All right, and then the next one, Just a City Boy, right? So, Just a City Boy! When you're doing that, you want to try to find kind of like a throwing it away with a little bit of abandon when you're approaching it, so that you're not holding too tight and holding back. So try to just kind of let it out a little bit more and not get too bogged down with like making it exactly perfect. So here you want to just kind of like, a good exercise to work with is just kind of like yelling it out as if you were calling out to somebody. So just a city boy, just a city boy. Right? You're just kind of calling out, just a city boy! And you'll find that it's much easier to hit those notes when you're just thinking of kind of like calling out, just a city boy! Than when you're like specifically trying to find particular notes. And then you can always pull it back and bring it back to the exact melody that you want. So don't be so worried about pitch first off. Try to get the technique and the feel of it down, and then start to put the pitch in properly. All right, let's jump into the chorus now. Okay, so the way Steve Perry approaches that part is he goes much wider, and here, because we're in the upper range for a male, like if you're singing this as a male, you're in your upper range, so you need to kind of shorten the vocal tract to be able to hit these higher pitches. So if we go too dark with it, it's going to be difficult because you're actually elongating the vocal tract. So, the strangers are waiting up and down the boulevard, their shadows. So we want to be able to find that kind of shortened vocal tract with a little bit of a smile in there. It's kind of like the inner smile where you're kind of like smiling inside. That's kind of like just the corners of the lips are coming up to be able to find that resonance. Okay, and so in the part in the night, so he goes nice and easy on that part. The same thing there, you want to try to find that little bit of the curl of the lips up to be able to shorten the vocal tract and make that note easier to hit. Living just a fun emotion, right? So we want to also make sure that your jaw's dropping. So I can't tell you how many people I work with that they're not opening enough for these types of notes. When you're hitting these types of notes, you need to open. Living, you can't do it. Living just a fun emotion. You're not gonna be able to hit those notes if you're keeping your mouth too closed. So your jaw has to get that jaw opening a little more. Beautiful high note. Wow. Okay. So this is the money note that everybody wants in this song, right? So let's pick that one down. So it's hiding somewhere in the night. You want to try to find that light first. Hiding somewhere in the night. So first find it in that light placement, and then you can go a little bit louder, a little bit more punchy with it as you try it more and more. And then if that's not possible, I would really recommend starting from a falsetto. Hiding somewhere in the night. So that's basically your starting point, because that is where the placement's going to be of that sound. It's going to be lifted. Hiding somewhere in the night. So it's got that really lifted approach. It's not going to be hiding somewhere in the night. It can't. You're going to always be scooping up if you're approaching it that way. So that pretty much covers all the main points of the song. I hope you guys benefited from this tutorial. Let me know if you want any other tutorials. Let me know in the comments down below who you'd like to be able to sing like next. If you like this content, please subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications, and hit a like on this video so that you help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you like this video, please check out this one. You're gonna like it too.